Welcome back. It's day 2 of the 50Blast Challenge, Phase 2. That's right. Back at it. Had an amazing day 1. Showed you guys that we're only going to do one exercise per body part. A lot of you still maybe not grasping that concept, but I can tell you right now that my delts from training them day 1 are absolutely fatigued. I can feel it deep in the muscle tissue. It was an incredible workout, and I'm going to continue doing that for 50 days. Regardless of whether people think it works or not, you'll see the results. It'll be fun. I'm going to do less explaining today because yesterday's episode got really long. I think it was 35 minutes. I tried to keep it shorter, but I really needed to stress on certain points, so that's why the episode got longer. I'll keep it shorter here, less explanation, but today's episode will have a little more time based on the meals that I eat. I'm going to get in probably 5 meals today. I'm going to shoot for minimum 4 meals. I know sometimes it's not always easy to eat a whole bunch of meals, but just remember you're eating for a purpose, which is that ultimate goal. Phase 1 was all about priming our body, getting used to having workouts and eating and health, that whole lifestyle into our, daily routine. Phase 2 is more about, I don't like the word extreme, but intense goal targeting. I want, because you voted for it, I want to completely shred up as well as bringing up lagging body parts. That requires the proper eating. Not only the eating for keeping your body in a perfect state of calorie burning, because people assume that when you cut out your food too. Oh, you want to lower your calories so you burn more fat. No. You still want to keep your meals up, but very specific foods at very specific times. You'll have to understand that. So again, see how I can turn these into very long discussions? We'll leave that there. I'll show you the meals that I eat, and then we'll get into training later today. Again, starting with cardio. I know we don't like it, got to do it, and then we're going to get to our one exercise and hit it with the utmost intensity. So let's get into what I'm eating, and then we'll get into that workout. Day 2, 50 Blast Challenge, Phase 2, coming at you. Day 2's eating starts out the same as most other days. I got my half cup of dried oats. It's just your Quaker stuff. Half cup into the bowl. This is just 1/3 of a teaspoon of cocoa powder and a little touch of stevia just to get that sweetness craving out of the way early in the morning without actually adding sugar in. Put it in there. Got this handy water boiler. It starts the process off nicely. Fill it up about that much water. Stir it around a bit. Into the microwave for about 40 seconds. And then I just add some, non-dairy milk, just to add a nice consistency to it. And there's my breakfast. Pretty simple. Nice and hot out of the microwave. That's basically the consistency, just, straight out of the microwave. Then I just add some non-dairy milk. This is Milkadamia. I also use almond or oat, just to give it a nice consistency to make it more enjoyable. There you go. Meal 1 will be out of the way shortly, and we'll get on to meal 2, which will be all protein in about 30 to 40 minutes. Now, our second meal is going to consist mainly of protein, because you're going to need protein. You understand that, the building blocks of any type of bodybuilding, muscle growth, anything like that. So what we've got over here is I've got 3 whole eggs and roughly 3 egg whites. I put in half a cup of diced up chicken, and then just a little bit of feta with some ground black pepper for flavoring. Just enjoy food. This is super easy. You're just going to dump your eggs in. You can eat your eggs however you want. If you want to make them sunny side up or whatever, go ahead, do whatever makes you happy. Toss some cheese in. Toss your chicken in. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I use sesame oil. It does two things, keeps it from sticking, and I like the taste. It's got lots of good fats in there as well. So as you can see, if the pan's nice and warm and you keep things moving around, this goes incredibly quick. That's right. Much easier if you're not holding the camera with one hand, because then the pan doesn't spin. The prep took all of about 2 minutes, and cooking takes less than 1. So that'll round out, my first 2 meals of the day. You definitely want to be like the protein is very important. Like I said, you saw that I do my carbs first, but I like to get this meal in no later than an hour after my first carb meal. Ideally you should be doing it, say, half hour afterwards, but no longer than an hour, because you want your body having what it needs to rebuild all that muscle that you tore down, and just to have more to work with during the day, because you got to start. For those of you who take in a lot of protein, the earlier you start, the easier it is to get the amount you need. So there you go. That is meal number 2. Meal number 3, I usually keep it fairly lean. I don't want any fatty meats at this point. So I've got, I'll either have ground chicken or ground turkey that I'll mix with rice. So I've got over here a rice cooker. I make, 8 cups at a time, because I'll go through probably 2.5 cups a day. Maybe even 3, depending on how much energy I feel I need. So yeah, all I'm doing now is cooking up the 1 pack of ground chicken this happens to be. And I'll probably I'll split this into 2 meals. Probably save the rest for tomorrow. Even though, a lot of the meals will be chicken or turkey, I try to stay sane by not eating the exact same one each time. So if I have ground chicken now, I'll have grilled chicken later, kind of thing. Like, you got to keep your mind somewhat enjoying food. So some of you may not have this problem, so you could eat this 2-3 times in a row. Cool. For me, I love food. I get bored if it's the same thing over and over and over again, but I know I'm still eating for a purpose, so I got to keep it clean. So like I said, I'll split this in half. Half will be for this meal tomorrow. Half will be for meal 3 right now, along with a little bit of rice. When she's done, I do not eat minute rice. Please don't eat that crap. There's no actual nutrient in it. So yeah, this will take care of meal 3. So this is what meal 3 will look like completed. Got all this rice. Gonna put in about, that same 3/4 cup, 120 to 140 grams of rice. Maybe you can even get closer to a cup if you need it. Here's that ground chicken. I sprinkle because I know what it looks like. That's roughly a cup, which is enough protein for me. I like to spice up my midday meals. So here's a spicy chili oil with black bean sauce. Gonna down this, get ready to go to the gym. Like I said, I like spicy food, so I put a little extra on. It's really good stuff. So here's the macro count for those of you who like to see that kind of stuff. I judge everything by eye and by the mirror. So yeah, like I said, this is meal 3. I will sneak in a clean carb and protein meal before I go to the gym, like 45 minutes to an hour before I actually go to the gym. And then I'll come back and have my post-workout meal, which it'll round out the day at about 5 meals at this point. So this will represent my usual kind of pre-workout meal, which will usually be about meal 4. half cup sweet potatoes, half cup shredded chicken, and I just throw some Greek yogurt in there to make it a really nice consistency to enjoy. So you're not, just like I said before, just eating chicken 2-3 times a day with the same consistency, same flavor profile. It just gets boring and it becomes unenjoyable to eat. I like to eat, so I keep things fun. There's, super clean carbs in here, and I should point out that after about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I really limit the amount of carbs that I take in, and they're usually super clean. Occasionally, after a really heavy workout, I will still add in white rice when I get home after my workout, even if it's before bed, because I need the calories to recover. But on a normal day where I'm not training really, really heavily, intensely, I'll keep the carbs really clean and at a minimum after 3:34 in the afternoon. While I'm eating meal 4, I'm going to prepare some of the beef. This is what I like to have beef as my post-workout protein just before I go to bed. And the reason for that is because it takes a long time to break down. So if you do get a full 6 to 8 hours sleep, the beauty is that this will break down overnight, slowly releasing protein, unlike a lot of other sources that kind of, you use it up in a couple hours. So each of these are 8 ounces pre-cooked. This is just an end piece, but this is tenderloin, very lean, but nice and nice tender cuts. Hence the name. So I'll have one of these with probably some asparagus when I get back from the workout. And like I said, if the workout proves to be a little more intense than I was expecting, I'll add a few carbs in, but not a lot. So here we are doing cardio. No, I get it. None of us like doing this. Well, there's a few sick, twisted people that like cardio, but hey, to each their own. If you like doing it, you're probably going to have one of those nice shredded physiques that everybody wants, because you're probably going to try a little extra harder at it. So good on you. But I'm not going to record a lot of this. It's pretty boring. I'm going to aim for 25 to 30 minutes like, usual. The nice thing about a heavy incline like what I'm doing is you don't need a really fast pace, and you'll burn those calories. I look to set it at, burning 100 calories every 10 minutes, or roughly 10 calories a minute. And that usually rounds out somewhere around 300 calories burned. Doesn't mean you have to stop at that 25 to 30 minutes. Doesn't mean that at all. If you're having one of those days where you're like, you know what? I'm going to burn an extra 100 calories, or 10 or 15 minutes, whatever it means to you. Go ahead and do it. Okay? That's not an issue. Burn as many calories as you can. It'll help you drop the weight and shred up even better. So for those of you who, much like me, are not a huge fan of cardio, what you can do is just find something to occupy your time. Maybe now it's the time to go through your social media. A lot of people are willing to sit at their desk and do it when they're supposed to be working. They'll lay in bed and do that, waste a bunch of time there. Why don't you do it while you're walking? For me, because I do a lot of business in the Caribbean, I take the time to practice my Spanish. I got apps on the phone. It's a perfect time, if I'm going to be here for a half hour anyways, even if I use half of that to learn more Spanish, that's 15 extra minutes a day, making myself better. These challenges, yes, we're in the gym. Yes, it's affecting the physical appearance. It does not mean you don't apply it to the rest of your life. You need a strong mind too. Always keep your mind working. Look at me getting off on a rant again. So, I'm 6 minutes into my 25 to 30. I'm going to keep plugging away here. I'll show you the final amount that I do, and then I'll hit the floor. Today we're going to train legs, but only one exercise. Be back at you in a bit. Well, ended up going with cool down 43 minutes. Went over 350 calories, which is usually my goal. And if you'll notice, always check to make sure you're within your best heart range for the specific purpose that you're doing. I want fat loss, so I should be aiming for a heart range between 125 and 140. Pretty ideal. There you go. I'll call that a successful cardio session. even did a few extra minutes. Win-win. Let's take this moment for a gym learning lesson. Came over to the leg press. I'm the only person in the gym, and someone's left all this weight on the leg press. Why do you think your workout is more important than someone else's, that you don't have time to take the weights off that you put on? Let's say the next person to come use the machine isn't as able-bodied as you and doesn't actually have the strength to remove all these plates. They can't use the equipment at the gym that they paid a membership for. And even if we are able-bodied and are able to remove that weight, why should we have to waste our time in the gym removing the weight that you put on? You're nobody special. You don't deserve any extra treatment. So if you put the weights on, take them off. And you know what? I'm going to wipe the equipment down, because I guarantee you someone as inconsiderate as this probably didn't wipe it down either. So there's their sweaty ass all over the machine. Thanks for coming to my Chris Talks. Do better. So back to happy, friendly Chris, who's about to do his workout. Drop the weight down, just got 2 plates aside. It's not a lot, but you know what? We're working with intensity. We don't care about the weight. So as you saw, and maybe you didn't see episode 1, the idea here is not just to move weight. We're going to make each of these reps take at least 3 to 4 seconds, and we are going to basically try and fight ourselves while we're lifting it. That's why the weight on it doesn't matter. We're going to read our body, learn our body, understand how our body lifts, and make sure the deepest portions of the muscles are getting burnt out and fatigued as we do the exercises. We're aiming for a total of 50 reps, but we're going to learn our body by trying to keep our set ranges in these 6 to 12 reps. I know that sounds like a big disparity between high and low, but as you learn, you'll know how much you can do, how to slow it down, how to pace yourself, and how to get the best workout. Now let's get to this one leg exercise that we're going to do for today's workout. Here we go. So 2 important things to note if you watch that one. You'll notice that I kept testing the range of how far I could bring the weight down. Very important. My legs are already warmed up from doing all that cardio, but at the same time, you don't want to start out with a really high weight when you can just slowly contract the muscles, go through the range of motion, and figure out where the tightness is and what you need to work out. I'm out of breath doing 12 reps on a leg press with only 2 plates. The other important thing is the weight is irrelevant. I'm sure you can do more than this. I'm sure you can do 10 plates. I'm sure you've done 14 just to try and show off. Because I've done that too in my early years. I'm not blaming you. I just know that we ego lift. But I've never been as exhausted as I am right now after doing 12 reps of just 2 plates aside. All right, so for the rest of the middle sets, I'm going to speed it up by 2 so you don't have to watch a whole bunch of excess footage. And on the very last set, I'll do real time, by 1 per 1 second kind of thing. So let's get to the next set. For legs, I like to take about 60 to 90 seconds off between sets. Okay, so I actually lowered my rest time in between each set to about 45-50 seconds. I don't know if that was good or bad, but it's definitely adding another dimension to this workout, not having that extra 30 seconds. Wow. Okay, so for this very last set, I owe myself, I have 44 reps in the bag. I have to cross 50. So I'm going to add a fourth plate to either side. I'm going to keep these super slow. I'm going to make sure I take the movements deep into the rep range, or range of motion. You know what I'm getting at. I'm exhausted. And I'm going to make this final set really count. After you're exhausted, those are the reps that do all the difference towards your gains. All right, let's get to this final set. All right, workout complete. That is a full workout. Don't care if it's just one exercise. And look, the weights are stripped, so the workout is actually complete. We can get our ass off the floor, go get that post-workout meal in, get some rest, start recovering, come back, do it again tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching. Amazing workout. I'll show you my post-workout meal, and then I'm done day 2. And there's the post-workout meal. That was the 8 ounces when it was raw, so it's cooked, it's a little less. Some asparagus and a 1/4 cup of rice. That's my post-workout meal, and now I'm going to bed. Well, I'm going to eat it first, then go to bed. All right, hope you enjoyed day 2.